Ο υπέρμαχος της ελεύθερης αγοράς και διευθυντής του Ayn Rand Institute μιλά στο capital.gr για το μεγάλο κράτος με αφορμή την απόψινή διάλεξή του στο Ινστιτούτο Διπλωματίας και Διεθνών Σχέσεων. Το μεγάλο κράτος είναι η αιτία της ελληνικής κρίσης?
Yes, absolutely. The Greek crisis is completely a crisis of government. It is a crisis of government overspending and making promises about spending, growing to such an extent that it crowds out private investment in the private sector. So what you have in Greece is a government sector that's very big, but how does the government sector fund itself? It funds itself on the private sector, which was shrinking. So you got a shrinking sector trying to fund a growing sector, and that had to implode at some point, and that's exactly the implosion we got. The financial crisis was just the trigger, but it wasn't the cause. The cause was government policy in Greece and government that had grown too big. Government shouldn't be this big even without a financial crisis. There's no reason for it. It's not good for the economy. It's not good for individual freedom. There's no justification to have government involved in so much of the economy as it is in Greece and much of Europe. Well, in my view, what you need is to shrink the government sector, and that means cutting government spending dramatically, much more than they've done so far, laying off, unfortunately, hundreds of thousands of people. But at the same time, what needs to happen is a massive deregulation of the private sector, lowering of taxes, lowering of regulations, the elimination of the protection that the government provides to unions, so freeing up the labor market. What Greece needs is a robust private sector and a limited public sector, a public sector that focuses on the core functions of government, in my view, the only functions of government, to protect us from crooks and frauds, to protect us from foreigners, foreign invasion potentially, and to have a justice system. Anything else we should shrink to the minimum, and over time eliminate the government's responsibility over those sectors and start shifting more and more through privatization, through deregulation, through lowering taxes to a private sector which can then grow and expand and create wealth and raise the standard of living of all Greeks.
Γιατί η Ελλάδα έχει καταγράψει μικρή πρόοδο όσον αφορά τη μείωση του κρατισμού?
Well, Greece has made little movement towards decreasing government because there isn't the will. I don't think there's the political will. I don't think the political parties in charge are really interested in this. Look, big government is big power. It's a lot of power for politicians, and they don't like losing power. But the Greek people, I think, are under the delusion, under the fantasy that they can thrive and be successful with a large government sector. They believe in economic theories, social theories, moral theories that suggest that their prosperity comes from government. What the Greeks have lost is the understanding of where real economic success and real social success comes from. And that comes from individuals being free to pursue their values, to live their life. From a free market that is free to create value and to build wealth. That's where real prosperity comes from. And government only interferes in that when it tries to do as much as the Greek government does today. Ancient Greece invented the idea of individualism. It invented the idea of freedom. It invented the idea, if you will, of the individual ability to reason, to figure things out, to live his life, his own values. These are the principles coming out of Aristotle and coming out of much of Greek philosophy. It is these ideas that the Greeks need to reinvent or rediscover and apply to the political situation today. Greece should be a land of individualists